I think it's amazing that this year we're having the STEM Showcase on March 28th, and that's going to be a great way to blend the lower schoolers, middle schoolers, and upper schoolers all together and just showcase every single finding about science and research that everyone's doing and just bring together our community in a diverse way.
Hello, and welcome to The Perch, where we highlight authentic voices, expert insights, and meaningful conversation. The Perch brings the Kinkaid School's mission to life through stories of education, leadership, and community. Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Perch. I'm Mike Maury, and on today's episode, we will celebrate the exciting new academic STEM Center at Kinkaid. We'll also give you some insight into why Falcon students say that they are all STEM kids. Our guests today are Lara Cross, the director of the Sheedy Family Center for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. Lara, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, it's great to be here today, and I'm really excited that we're getting to represent the STEM Center so early on in the year.
Absolutely. We are also honored to have two Falcon students on the show. We have Audrey Koo from the class of 2026 and Lara Alp from the class of 2027. Lara and Audrey, welcome to the Perch.
Thank you.
So let's get started. Lara, we understand that the STEM Center is not actually a place per se. So what is the STEM Center?
Well, yeah, I get asked a lot by people like, where is the STEM Center? And, we have all of these wonderful new spaces, robotics lab, makerspace, new labs, but that's not really what the STEM Center is. I like to say that it's more of a way of thinking about things where our ideas are driven by curiosity, exploration, innovation, those kind of things that actually surround us all the time. We live in a STEM world. And even the jobs in Houston are centered in STEM fields. We have the energy industry, we have the medical center, we have NASA and the space industry, we have high-tech companies that are coming to Houston. And so increasingly, the world we live in and the world that our students like Audrey and Lara live in, we're surrounded by STEM all of the time. And so the STEM Center is everywhere we are.
That is exciting and a good way to kick us off. So you mentioned Lara and Audrey. We're going to kick it over to you. The STEM Center is actually made up of students. So your involvement in the STEM Center, can you share a story, a project or an initiative maybe that you have worked on or you're currently working on? And Lara, we'll start with you.
Perfect. Last year, I conducted an independent study which explored the intersections between dance and kinesiology. So I was working with 10 deco dancers from the Kinkaid Dance Company, and it was basically on how science-based movement exercises like lunging or breathing techniques can overall improve balance, flexibility, and even choreography. And I worked with all the dancers to measure their range of motion and balance in positions like retires and their performance after doing targeting exercises. And my data results were through the roof. Everyone showed increasing amounts of flexibility, and it was great to work with all the dancers and just combine art and STEM, since I feel like it's such a unique way to blend together those two different things and fields.
You bring up such a great point, which is that STEM is not necessarily speaking to an academic class. You just gave us a great example of STEM and academics crossing over into arts. I'm curious, though, how did you choose that project to work on?
Yes, so I've been dancing since the age of 3, and I've always been interested in it. And now that with the new STEM Center at Kinkaid and then all the new uprising fields in STEM, I was really interested in how I could combine the two. So I took that initiative, and using my community around me and all the Kinkaid people, my dance teachers especially, a shout out to them, they helped me a lot with this process. And it was just so great to discover all the aspects about just STEM and the arts.
That's great. So yeah, I think it's really interesting that you were able to make that combination. That's really an unusual one.
Yes.
So how did you feel about it as a dancer and bringing STEM into it? Did you find that that actually helps you?
Yes, it's so great because I learned not only the mechanics of our body, but also like because of our anatomy, there's so many different functions that play a role in dance. And it was so great to understand that and like the behind the scenes of how your body truly moves, because you're always performing and doing these dances or like showcases, but you're never like focusing on like how do my toes actually point or how are my knees and hips moving. So it was great to see everything come together.
And one of our science teachers in the upper school, Dr. Anderson, he is also into dance and movement. He was talking to me about how like very subtle movements of your muscles you aren't even aware of.
Yes, it's crazy.
So you were able to bring that in and had this biology connection with your artwork, which is just really cool.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. So Audrey, experience maybe current or recent that you've had here at Kinkaid in the STEM field?
Yeah, so last year I founded the AI Student Committee, which I also am continuing this year. And so basically what it is that we try to represent student voices by directly communicating with the director of technology at Kinkaid, and we discuss how students think about how we are using AI currently in the school. And so it's been really like an honor to work with Mr. Rodney, and I'm so glad that we have the STEM Center because that allows us to have more resources and kind of have a bigger platform for accessing students in all of these STEM resources. So.
Yeah, that's a very exciting field that we're involved in with AI now. And you have really focused on like the student experience, and you did a survey last year about how students are using AI. So what were some of your biggest findings from that?
From our survey, we found that a large majority of students were using Flint. However, there were a lot of people who were using not only Flint, but also that LLM in conjunction to other LLMs. And so it was really interesting, as well as we also found that like a lot of students did use like AI for like not only concept building, but also for like writing too, which was interesting.
You mentioned Flint. That's the AI platform that we have adopted as a school as sort of a safe and ethical way to use AI in the classroom. And so that's what we like to focus on. So are you thinking that your peers are getting more familiar with Flint as opposed to just the ones that we all hear about in the news like ChatGPT? Are we getting more use of Flint?
Yes, I definitely think that like using Flint is such like an amazing resource because they have a lot of like constraints, and it is tooled for like helping like maybe break down concepts to like students rather than being more of a general use model. And I think that like the teachers at Kinkaid have done like an amazing job at trying to integrate using Flint in the classroom. And so I am like really like surprised by like how much like we're being a part of like the new AI wave.
Wonderful.
Great.
Let's jump over to, you had mentioned some of your classes, and both of you are in the upper school. But STEM at the Kinkaid School, I understand, runs not only across divisions like the arts and athletics, but also up and down from the lower school all the way up to the upper school. Can you tell us a little bit about that and maybe why that is so important?
Yeah, it is really important that we begin with STEM learning at the earliest ages. Our littlest falcons are having the opportunities to explore and discover things, which is what children do. That's the way we learn as little kids, is by playing. And one of my favorite experiences since I got this new job is visiting a lower school, a pre-K technology class, where the pre-K kids were playing with robots and giving the robots directions from how to go to one place to another. So like you have to go 2 steps forward and 1 step to the right. Giving those directions to a robot is basically coding. That's teaching how you program a computer. So even at that age, we're starting to use that playful aspect to get our students excited about STEM. And so then we move on to the middle school, and we have interesting new classes like STEM 8, where they are actually building the devices that they'll use in their science classes to make measurements. We have a project, this one comes as a total surprise to me that this is what I ended up doing, but our middle school Latin classes are going to collaborate with the science classes. They're going to grow papyrus plants and study why those plants are, first of all, why it works in Houston as well as it did in ancient Egypt, and then learn how to make basically paper from papyrus plants as they did in the ancient world. And those Latin students are going to have the experience of writing texts in Latin the way the ancient people did. So we have these exciting things that continue to build on that. And then we eventually get to the upper school where, by the time they're the age of Lara and Audrey, we have new methods for filling in the big picture, for looking at things in an abstract sense, and then being able to say, we can create new things from this. We can learn new things. We can build new things based on the stuff we've been studying. So STEM is this whole continuum of activities and processes that goes all the way across the school, all the way from pre-K through 12, and even the adults in our community. We're doing STEM too.
That is just phenomenal. A pre-K class starting to learn STEM. It just mind-blowing.
It's fantastic. It's so incredible that our students have this opportunity. And now that we can see this continuum, I want to mention that we're going to have some opportunities for students like Lara and Audrey here to go visit some of the lower school kids. So what would y'all think? What would you like to tell to our little ones who are learning about STEM for the first time?
I think it's so great that they've found a love for this learning at such a young and early age. And I think being a leader on the STEM Leadership Board has just given me the foundation to soar as a falcon. And I think seeing the little ones just grow up to be people like us is just fascinating and mind-blowing to me. And I think it's amazing that this year we're having the STEM Showcase on March 28th, and that's going to be a great way to blend the lower schoolers, middle schoolers, and upper schoolers all together and just showcase every single finding about science and research that everyone's doing and just bring together our community in a diverse way.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Laura. Additionally, I think that Kinkaid has so many great resources, especially as you go into higher grades. And so this, as a member of the STEM Leadership Board, I've had so many opportunities to talk to my teachers and organize events. And so I'm really excited for all of these opportunities. And I think that there is so much to look forward to.
We've got research projects going. We have competitions that y'all are going to participate in. Y'all have done some competitions in the past, right?
Yes.
Which ones have y'all done?
I participated in the AMC 8 when I was in middle school, and that was such a good opportunity for me to collaborate with other fellow math students who were really passionate about math.
Yes, I also did that along with Audrey. And then I also competed in the Anadamage competitions. So it was a virtual qualifier, and we got to try out online. And it was using the Anadamage table, which is a 3D dissection table that really allows you to see the human anatomy and cut up different sections of your body to investigate and learn more about yourself. And so we've been conducting that as a STEM Leadership Club, and now that it's gone into a board, I think it'll be great to have so many different Kinkaid students participating in those competitions as well.
That's right. So the Anadamage is our virtual dissection table, but it is an amazing piece of equipment because it has life-size virtual versions of real people, extremely detailed information about their bodies. And so it can give the students an experience of understanding the study of human anatomy that they wouldn't otherwise have, especially at the high school level.
So, Laura, you mentioned earlier that Houston is a hub for several STEM-related industries. So I'm wondering, does that create an opportunity for our students to access that wealth of knowledge right here in our hometown?
As you probably know, our seniors during interim term have the opportunity to go do internships at places around Houston. We're also trying to build in some opportunities in the summer before senior year for our juniors or our rising seniors. And so we are really hoping to develop additional partnerships with, for example, some of our Kinkaid families who work in the STEM industries. Maybe they would like to host one of our seniors as an intern. We already have a number of great opportunities available in the STEM fields, and we're just hoping to broaden that into these exciting different areas and the way some of these industries are coming together.
Would that include alumni, some Kinkaid alumni?
Sure, absolutely. Alumni too. And so we obviously have many alumni who are also involved in these fields who might like to be a part of that. Audrey, you're a senior, so are you getting ready for your internship?
I've just signed up for my internship, and hopefully I get one in like the medical field, because I think that would be such an interesting opportunity. And I've definitely seen seniors in the past, like on Instagram, or my friends who have graduated, who have had wonderful internships that they've really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. And Laura, you're still a junior, but what are you hoping to be involved in? What's your dream for next year?
Yes, my dream for next year. So going into college, I really want to become a dermatologist or major in the STEM fields. And over the summer, I did an internship at a dermatology clinic. And that was great because I got to work with patients and room lots of different people and just learn more about the skin overall. And I think using what Kinkaid gives you and having that foundation can really allow you to reach and like soar to so many different ways in the future. And so hopefully I also get into a STEM internship.
That's great. Yeah. So you're already doing it, and we're going to make sure that happens next year.
Thank you.
So if we go maybe back up to the center itself, and Laura's the director of the Sheedy Family Center for STEM, or Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. We have talked about students, curriculum, tools, initiatives, internships. This is a pretty full program. And if I'm listening to the Perch right now, I want to see some of this. How can I see some of these things in action?
So Laura already mentioned, we have our first ever STEM showcase coming in March. This is going to be a community-wide event for everybody at Kinkaid. So families, you come too. We're going to have our older students can present on perhaps their research that they've done. Y'all participated in last year's symposium, which was just for the upper school. We're merging this with middle school science night, and we also want to invite the lower school to come as well. We'll have presentations, but we're also going to have fun activities because STEM is about playing with toys. That's where I say we're not just all STEM kids, we're all STEM kids.
Nice.
Scientists are the people who never got out of playing with toys. We never grew out of that. So we're going to have the opportunity to do that, and hopefully also to interact with some of these parents and alumni who might come in and share some of the work they're doing too. It's a chance for the whole Kinkaid community to come together and celebrate this really important academic field.
My calendar is marked. We are in March 2026. Definitely keep an eye on social media and the Falcon Flyer and all the other communication channels as we get closer, not only for more details, but maybe leaking a few of the projects and some of the amazing things and the people you might meet at the STEM Showcase. This has just been a wonderful conversation. I'd like to thank all three of you for coming on board. You have definitely taken STEM out of this, I'll say pigeonhole, not Falcon, and really broadened it into something that's just mind-boggling. It crosses all disciplines. It crosses all grades. And I go back to what I said earlier, that that's something very special here at Kinkaid. And the start of this new STEM center, I think, gives this all the power it needs to be something simply phenomenal, yet again, about the Kinkaid School.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want all of you to be taking away the message that this is for all of us. And so we want to go out there and explore and discover new things, innovate, design, investigate and prototype, all those different things that we do in STEM. That's part of your life. And so we want everybody out there to be saying that you're a STEM kid too.
Well, there it is. I am now a STEM kid as well. So I say that is probably going to wrap us up for today. I'd like to thank Lara, our new director for the STEM Center. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for the wonderful information on all the initiatives. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
And for our class of 2026 and 2027, Audrey and Lara, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So that is a wrap. The Perch will return again in 2 weeks with new conversations and stories about education, leadership, and community. Be sure to follow us on social media, check out our website, and read the Falcon Flyer for more on how Kinkaid supports our students and our community throughout the year. Thanks again for joining us on The Perch.